What's good, YouTube? That182 here, back again once again. To take people today, it's Thursday, so you already know means the Pokemon Top 5 all lined up ready to go for you guys. And now, last time we had the Top 5, because it wasn't last week, but last time we had the Top 5, we had a choice between our Top 5 rivals or top, well, I guess everybody's not a rival, but you know what I mean, you know, Top 5 other character besides you that plays through the game with you that you battle sporadically at certain points of the game. So yeah, we had either top 5 rivals or top 5 Pokemon moves, and you guys came through with the votes, and top 5 Pokemon moves has won. Now this week's top 5, as well as any top 5 that we do, is 100% opinionated, meaning that if you don't agree with it, then by all means leave your own top 5 Pokemon moves in the comment section below. And of course, if you all are proud members of the Nappy Nation and you are excited for this week's top 5, make sure you smash that like button down below for us. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into this bitch. Starting off our countdown this week, in the number 5 slot, we have a 3-way tie of sorts with some honorable mentions. I don't know. This week's top 5 is going to be kind of sort of like unique and difficult to do because it's like these moves are like, it all varies upon situation and upon what Pokemon that's using them. But either way, we're just going to talk about them in general. In the number 5 slot, we have a 3-way tie between Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and Flamethrower. They're basically like, they're all about the same base power. You know, it's just different typings. That's all it is. You know, it's just like how you have like it's kind of like, well, I don't know if you would throw Surf in the mix there because it's not really like a TM, it's more of an HM, but I don't know. It's just moves like that, like Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Dragon Pulse, Water Pulse, Aura Sphere, Shadow Ball, Flash Cannon, stuff like that. That's around there. That you know, it all pretty much does about the same base damage. Some of them have different secondary effects as well, but really for the most part, they are like the really go-to moves, you know what I mean? Like there's those people in competitive that want to run like Fire Blast, and you know, they just want to do all-out damage. But if you want to be safe and know that, hey, I'm still going to do a pretty good chunk of damage no matter what, and I want to hit my move all the time, you're gonna go for Flamethrower. You know, it's those reliable moves that still hit hard. You know, I remember back in first gen, TM13, the key to beating first gen, the key to beating Lance, besides just hitting with everything you got, was whenever you got your little Squirtle, if you chose Squirtle, you know, make sure you go up to the top of the Celadon City department store, you get a little girl her drink, she gives you TM13 Ice Beam, get that bitch to Blastoise, and you power through Lance and his dragons. You know, it's stuff like that, you know, the moves that are just, I mean, look, for example, Thunderbolt, there's Thundershock, and everybody, anytime you ever get an electric type Pokemon that has Thundershock, you are just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting until you get Thunderbolt and you wreck house with it. So it's really just, it's those moves that they're not the world's strongest moves in the world, but they are always there for you and they always put in the work that you need them to put in. Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, number 5 this week. In the number 4 slot this week, we have Extreme Speed. When it comes to all the priority moves, it has the most priority, and it hits the hardest. Actually, no, I think it's tied with stupid ass Sucker Punch for the priority move that does the most damage because it's base 80. And it's actually really unique because it's just a normal type move. So it's like the best priority move can't touch a ghost type. So it's really interesting in that sense. So I don't know, but either way, Extreme Speed, like I said, highest priority of any move in the game, and it also hits really hard. You get up a Dragon Dance or a Swords Dance, and you just spam Extreme Speed. I mean, that's the go-to strategy for Arceus. When people just run regular normal Arceus, it's Recover. So is it Swords Dance? Yeah, Swords Dance, Extreme Speed, and Shadow Claw. Because you use Shadow Claw because you can't hit Ghost types with Extreme Speed. So, I don't know, it's just Extreme Speed in and of itself. There's a lot of people that like different priority moves, like a lot of people like Aqua Jet. If this was Pokemon Zeta, we'd have Draco Jet, but still, Aqua Jet is one of them, and then there's Sucker Punch. In my opinion, Sucker Punch is a crutch. Thinking about typing and not what I'm saying. But you know, there's a whole host of priority moves, but at the end of the day, Extreme Speed tops them all, and it's such a powerful move because 9 times out of 10, it's a very small group of Pokemon that can learn it, and then there are it's even higher in value in my mind because there are like event versions of Pokemon that get Extreme Speed, like Pikachu. I think there's a Extreme Speed Raikou. Is it Extreme Speed Dratini? You know, it's like, it's a move that's got so much lore. I don't know if I want to call it lore is the right word to say, but it's got so much of an aura around it that it's just like, goddamn. E-Speed. I got motherfucking E-Speed. And it's like priority moves always come in handy when you need them. You know, it's those moves when you hit something as hard as you can, it doesn't quite kill it. Next turn, E-Speed will bop it. Or just your priority move will bop it, but E-Speed will bop it because it's got that 80 base damage. So I don't know, when it comes to a top 5 moveset, priority moves are definitely something that's in the game. It's definitely a large part of the game, especially in competitive. And I feel like if we were going to choose one, Extreme Speed definitely takes the cake for it. I'm not gonna get into priority moves anymore. Besides that, number 4 this week we have Extreme Speed. Climbing the number 3 spot this week we have Toxic. Surprisingly enough, something as simple as Toxic, something that's been around since Generation 1. It was given to us by Koga. Koga granted us with the gift of Toxic ever since then. And like I said, when we started this countdown, I said it's kind of sort of hard to do this top 5 because you have to talk about the moves in like a general sense. You know what I mean? Like, you can mention a couple Pokemon that use them and whatnot, but still, overall, you just have to kind of just give a blanket term for these moves. But Toxic, being one of the, on my mind, it's one of the most useful moves in the game, just in the sense of Toxic Stall. I know a lot of people don't like that, but when you go up against something like Slowbro, and very, very soon Mega Slowbro with his base 180 defense, moves like Toxic are honestly your only chance. It's really the go-to strategy. It's really the best way to go ahead and just whittle down that Pokemon until they die. And the fact that it does more and more and more and more every single turn, like, that's scary. That is very, very scary because it's literally like a ticking time bomb. You're putting that Pokemon that you just Toxic on a set track for death. Unless they got aromatherapy or heal bell or whatever, you know, yada yada yada. There's gonna be those people in the comment section that's like, oh well, Nappy, they're not gonna die because you could have this, 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 and this. But still, just the notion of Toxic has been around since Generation 1. And it's such a powerful, powerful move when you actually stand back and look at what it does. Like I said, it whittles you down. It literally whittles you down and kills you from the inside out. You know what I mean? Like, literally, you just pop Toxic on a Pokemon and you're set. You're good. It's gonna die. It's gonna die. You just have to live out the next couple turns and it's gonna die. So in my mind, it sucks that it can miss, but in my mind, just the notion that any Pokemon, number 1, because every Pokemon can learn Toxic, just the notion that no matter what, there is some method to victory. See what I'm saying? Like, no matter what, if I can just get that Toxic off on you, it's gonna work. And just the notion that it's been around since Gen 1, Koga gave it to us back then, and even to this day, people still run Toxic and Wi-Fi and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's a move that, even though it doesn't even like so far in the countdown, we have Extreme Speed, Ice Beam, all that stuff. You know, although all those are offensive moves, the notion that when it comes to technical moves and shit like that, Toxic just still puts in that crazy work is insane. So Toxic is number 3. As we enter the home stretch in the number 2 slot this week, ladies and gentlemen, we have Surf. Another move that has been around since Generation 1, and it's just the notion of it. Number 1, Water type is my favorite type. And in my opinion, Surf is the best Water type move out there. I know there's Water Spout, I know there's Hydro Pump or the brand new Origin Pulse, I know there's moves that do more damage than it, but in my opinion, Surf overall is the best Water type move. It hits everybody on the field when you're in a double battle or a multi battle. It puts in so much work. Like, I know I mentioned Blastoise back when we were talking about Ice Beam in number 5 slot, but true or false, if anybody's ever used a Blastoise before, I just use Blastoise as an example. Anybody that's ever used Blastoise before and you slap Surf on it, you can legit just spam Surf in a battle and you will kill whatever's in front of you. Legit. And well, of course, unless you're just like fighting a Kyogre or something, but you know what I mean. Like, for the most part, even if it's not super effective against the Pokemon, Surf does damage. It puts in work. It is such a well-rounded move. Literally, it is. It's such a well-rounded move in the sense. What is it? Is it 90 or 95 power? I'm gonna check. I'm gonna double check it right now, just to be 100% sure. Just to be 100% sure. It does. Survey says 90 base damage right now as of 6th gen. It does 90 base damage with 100% accuracy, and to top that, to even top that, like I said, it hits everybody on the field, and on top of that, so many Pokemon that aren't just Water type can learn it. Rhyperior can learn it. Snorlax can learn it. Hariyama can learn it. You know, there's so many Pokemon that learn it, and it's just I don't know. It's one of those things where I think about it, like, you don't think about it every time you use it, but when I sit down and think about it right now, again, it's very, very similar to Toxic. I just think back to my childhood and growing up using Surf over and over and over again. Like, I remember I could not wait to get to the Safari Zone to pick up Surf in Gen 1. Because it's just like, it puts in so much work. It really puts in so much work. And as a kid, not knowing every little detail about Pokemon and knowing that, oh hey, this effectiveness and that effectiveness and all this stuff, you know, what's resistant, whatnot. For me to just stumble upon a move and for it to just put in work no matter what, like that just really blew me away, and it stuck with me ever since then. So in the number 2 slot of this week, Surf. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever seen an LP from me, I'm sure I've spoken about this move once or twice in my affection for it. In the number 1 slot, we have Earthquake. It's kind of funny. I didn't think about this when I actually made the list, but the first 3 moves go all the way back to Gen 1. But I mean, I guess like you couldn't really be upset with that, because if anything, it just goes to show that the moves have stood the test of time. You know, they've been around for 15 plus years, and they work for generations upon generations of people. But Earthquake, physical ground type move, 100% damage, 100% accuracy. It puts in work. I know I said that 4 or 5 times just now speaking about Surf, but Earthquake literally destroys lives. If you ain't a flying type, you ain't Gengar with Levitate, you are getting bopped by this Earthquake. Pokemon, honestly, I don't want to say the game would be different, but I think that Earthquake is definitely one of those moves that really kind of sort of has grown to become game changing. You know what I mean? Like, for example, Garchomp. Garchomp doesn't get Earthquake by level up. Actually, you know what? I'm going to double check that right now. As I say that, I know I double checked Surf. I'm gonna double check Garchomp right now, just to be 100% sure. I know he gets it by TM, but by level up, he does not get Earthquake. And you know, it's just that notion that applying it to that Pokemon would be so destructive. You know, it's like part Pokemon, part move. They wouldn't even give the Pokemon that move, because if they did, it would be so destructive. It would hurt so much. I mean, I know they give it to him by TM, don't get me wrong, but still, just the notion of by level up, you know, it would be so destructive. You know, just in my opinion, I don't know, it parallels Surf in the sense that it hits everybody on the field. It does so much damage. Stab, Earthquake, oh my lord. And just like Surf, there are other Pokemon that aren't Stab that learn it as well, that it's a staple in movesets. It really, really is. Like, for example, Metagross. Metagross, Earthquake, it's a staple in a moveset. You know, Dragonite, Earthquake. Gyarados, Earthquake. You know, it's such a well-rounded universal move, and so many Pokemon get it. In my opinion, it's made the biggest impact on the game than any other move actually has. So for me, when it comes to a top 5 list of Pokemon moves, number 1 has to be Earthquake. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to go ahead and wrap up this week's top 5. Like I said, it was kind of an odd, awkward top 5 to do, but I think we pulled it off. But either way, if you guys enjoyed this week's top 5, and of course you are proud members of the Nappy Nation, make sure you smash that like button down below for us. Season 4 of top 5 is going to extend all the way into Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and then once Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire hits, we are going to switch things up and enter Season 5. And of course, share with us your own top 5 Pokemon moves in the comments section below. Now, when it comes to next week's top 5, we have the choice between either top 5 rivals, it's going to come back from last top 5 because it didn't win, or we have the choice between either top 5 items used in the game. These are new top 5s we haven't exactly messed with before in previous seasons, so they might be, I don't know, it's kind of interesting to dive into them, because they're kind of sort of areas that you don't really think about Pokemon per se. Like when it comes to items, like I'm not trying to sway the vote or anything, but when it comes to items, you know, it's something that you always take for granted, but you don't really ever sit down and think about it. But either way, let us know what your top 5 Pokemon moves list is, and of course, make sure you vote for next week's top 5 as well. But with that, I'm gonna get about. Thank you all so much once again for your support, and thank you for checking out the video. You know me, YouTube App 192. I'm out.